Chapter 45. For the leader, upon Shoshanim, a psalm of the sons of Korah. Maskil, a song of loves. My heart overfloweth with a goodly matter, I say. My work is concerning a king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. You art fairer than the children of men. Grace is poured upon your lips. Therefore God hath blessed you forever. Gird your sword upon your thigh, O mighty one, your glory and your majesty. And in your majesty prosper. Ride on in behalf of truth and meekness and righteousness. And let your right hand teach you tremendous things. Your arrows are sharp. The peoples fall under you. They sink into the heart of the king's enemies. Your throne given of God is forever and ever. A scepter of equity is the scepter of your kingdom. You have loved righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore God, your God, hath anointed you with the oil of gladness above your fellows. Myrrh and aloes and cassia are all your garments. Out of ivory palaces stringed instruments have made you glad. King's daughters are among your favorites. At the right hand doth stand the queen in gold Ophir. Hearken, O daughter, and consider, and incline your ear. Forget also your own people and your father's house. So shall the king desire your beauty, for he is your Lord, and do homage unto him. And, O daughter of Tyre, the richest of the people shall entreat your favor with a gift. All glorious is the king's daughter within the palace. Her raiment is of a checker work, inwrought with gold. She shall be led unto the king on richly woven stuff. The virgins, her companions in her train, being brought unto you. They shall be led with gladness and rejoicing. They shall enter into the king's palace. Instead of your fathers shall be your sons, whom you shall make princes in all the land. I will make your name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore shall the peoples praise you forever and ever. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. This is for the leader to be sung. Obviously to be played before the Lord upon Shoshanim. Shoshanim, my best recollection of this is going to be that it's a place of the lilies, even a valley of the lilies, a place of the lilies. Shushan is the lily, and we just figure that this must be a plural, the place of the lilies, or those of the lilies. My psalm. Psalm's bracketed here, so it's a psalm, a song, a testimony, something to remember. It says a song of loves, something that's sung for love to the sons of Korah. And the Korah, once again, are the bald. These that represent those that have had their glory removed, but stripped. But we're not talking about those people who actually are missing their hair. It has nothing to do with them. Mashkil, once again, is instructions. It's instructive. And I guess we could take this as a song to sing about those that have had their glory removed. A little instruction. 2. My heart overfloweth with a goodly matter. I say, my work is concerning a king. My tongue is a pen of the ready writer. My heart overflows with a goodly matter. My heart overflows and that means it's going to flow out this goodly matter. I say, or I'm going to speak of this. This is going to be my work concerning a king. My work, or this. That I've got to say to the king. In other words, what I'm going to have to say to the king. And we're not talking about the king that is the king right now. We're going to be talking about a king that is to come. And my tongue is the pen of a ready writer. So these words of my mouth are going to be like an ink pen of someone who is writing it down. The one and the same, oral and written, are viewed as one. 3. You art fairer than the children of men, and grace is poured upon your lips. Therefore God hath blessed you forever. You are fairer than the children of men, and grace is poured out upon your lips. Grace is the mercy of God. Grace is the favor, and they're here. And we're going to be talking about a king. We're talking about the king. We're talking about the kingship, more or less, kind of about the kingship. Uh, God has blessed you forever. Forever is a long time, and we'll find out that God had made a way. God had set up a way for the king to be blessed, just like he did everybody else. He tried to make a little example with the king. God did make a way for the king to be blessed forever. And it was the qualifier. If we all remember, the qualifier the king got was the same qualifier the rest of us got. It was, if you will keep my law, my commandments, and my statutes. 4. Now gird your sword upon your thigh, O mighty one, your glory and your majesty. Gird your sword upon your thigh. Prepare yourself, this mighty one. Mighty one is somebody who has strength, somebody who is strong, and we're talking about this king. We're talking about the king. Your glory and your majesty. This glory and your majesty under this sword, we're going to find out is this protection that we think we could get with the might of a man. We think the king can protect us with his sword, with his might, with his ability. We'll find out that there's no one who can protect against the Lord, this mighty one. God is the mighty one. He is Elohim, and he is the mighty one of all the strong ones. He is the strength of the strong. So if he is the strength of the strong, he is that which was within. That is the strength, and we're going to find out. 5. And in your majesty prosper right on in behalf of truth and meekness and righteousness. Let your right hand teach you tremendous things. Yeah, in your majesty prosper. God give you the position. You were set in the position. Well, fine. And the people wanted a king. They got a king. God said, all right. He put your king in position. He gave him the same qualifier he gave everybody else. You're going to keep the law. You're going to keep the statutes. You're going to keep the commandments. And this is the truth. See, this is the meekness. This is the humility you're going to suffer just like everybody else does. There's no difference in the king and the common person. And righteousness, justice. You have to be just, see, before the Lord. Let your right hand teach you tremendous things. Your right hand, that's your strength. That's your ability to do things. We'll find out, because the king can make a bad decision. The king can make a good decision. The king makes a bad decision, it hurts a multitude of people. Don't just hurt the king. See, he has greater responsibility. 6. Your arrows are sharp. The peoples fall under you. They sink into the heart of the king's enemies. Your arrows are sharp into the heart of the king's enemies, or they sink into the heart of the king's enemies. And these arrows that are sharp, the king's words, they have power, they have strength. They speak, and it went out and done something, see. And these arrows are sharp. They're pointed. And the people do fall under you. Why? Well, we find out these arrows, or these truths, should be the ordinances of the kings, the laws of the kings. We'll find out oftentimes it's not, and we have great examples of that written right in the book of the Kings. See, that's why we have kings, so we can make these examples, so we can have these teachings of who they were, and the periods they held. Kings, the emperors, these sort of things it was a period of time. It was an age of man, and sooner or later we outgrow these things. 7. Your throne, given of God, is forever and ever. A scepter of equity is the scepter of your kingdom. Your throne, given of God, is forever and ever. Once again, that's a very long time. See, well, God's eternal, and the only thing that is. All other things are of a finite world. They are period of time that's already determined. See, they had a beginning, they have an end. They exist in a period of time, and that's it. That is forever and ever unto a man. You see, that period of time you exist, and that's the end of you. You're done, and you no longer exist. But the king is a slightly different thing. It's something that can be handed down, something to be given down. See, it's can the next generation receive it? Is it something that can be handed down, and like that, we'll find out it was assumed that it was something. The scepter of equity, the scepter of your kingdom. That scepter is that which stands for it. It is known as, see, the rule. It represents this rule of equity. Equity is quality, to treat everybody the same, to be equal, to make an equal base, to create an equal flat ground to stand on, not giving someone more advantage than another simply because of favoritism or maybe something they stuck in your pocket. 8. You have loved righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore God, your God, hath anointed you with oil of gladness above your fellows. You have loved righteousness and hated wickedness. You have loved justice and hated wickedness. And this would be the king that prospers. This would be a king that would prosper. This one who loves righteousness, who loves justice, who hates wickedness. See, that king could prosper, but we'll find out. They were few and far between. And overall, the kingship did not prosper for the lack of this. Therefore, God, your God, hath anointed you. And God did anoint the king. He was the king of the anointed one. All the priests were anointed ones. Those that have understanding are anointed. The king was anointed. He was anointed with understanding. The understanding to make a copy of that book, keep it beside him, right there beside him. But see, we got the book of Kings to document these things. There was oil of gladness above your fellows. God lifted you up. Myrrh and aloes 9, and acacia are all your garments. Out of the ivory palaces stringed instruments have made you glad. Myrrh, aloes, acacia, all pleasant odors, pleasant incense, pleasant everything, all pleasantries in your garments, perfumes. Out of ivory palaces. Ivory is made from the tusks of animals. To build a palace out of ivory, it would take a lot of animals. But this ivory it's white, it's pure, and it's this essence. It's considered like the essence of things. Highly treasured. These palaces. Stringed instruments have made you glad. Stringed instruments, these things that twang and make music and call to remembrance. Beauty. Wonderful. Great things. They make you glad. Well, God set you in a pleasant place there. That's a nice seat to be in. See, but we have to consider where these ivory palaces come from. The cost of an ivory palace. The cost of the seat. 10. King's daughters are among your favorites. At your right hand doth stand the queen in gold Ophir. King's daughters are among your favorites, your most cherished. This word favorites here. King James Version says, King's daughters were among your honorable women. Well, the word women or woman does not even occur, so the word is yakar. It means valuable, prized, weighty, precious, rare, splendid, costly. And we can take it just like that, something precious. They are among your most precious, these king's daughters. And we're talking about other nations these other kings who have daughters, because, the comparison was to have a king and be like everybody else. So the kings have daughters. And these daughters are among the most favored. Kings and their daughters are these that go forth with the king's understandings. See, they go forth with the king's understandings and just what is their king, who is their king. At your right hand, once again, that's the power and the strength. Does stand the queen. Queen is this understanding of feminine rule. She represents the understanding of feminine rule. A little bit of mercy, some compassion, some love, some tenderness. That side, that understanding of it. In gold Ophir. In gold Ophir. That's the purest gold. It represents the purest of gold. That didn't have to be refined. That's what the queen is supposed to represent. But we'll find out the king's daughters are among their favorites. 11. Hearken, O daughter, consider and incline your ear. Forget also your own people and your father's house. Listen, O daughter. A daughter's one that goes forth with her father's understanding. Consider, incline your ear. Listen, forget also your own people and your father's house. See, now twice here, listen 3 times even. Hearken, consider, incline your ear. 3 times we have here for the instruction. Forget also your own people and your father's house. Forsake not that understanding that you had from your father. See, this is that daughter of the other king that comes to marry. 12. So shall the kings desire your beauty, for he is your Lord, and do homage unto him. So shall then the king desire, is what it should say, your beauty, for he is your Lord, and do homage unto him. For you'll have to submit yourself now to the king. And these daughters of the king would go forth to marry other kings and other kingdoms, and this is the thing. You can't bring your understanding with you, though. You can't bring that. You've got to forsake that and bow down to a new understanding, bow down to a new king. Humble yourself, so to speak, as he is your Lord. You know, this Lord, or he is this one you submit yourself to. That's that position, that's that seat. We have to have respect for. It's the work of God. God does these things. We have to show respect, but we find out we have to be observant to the law. This is the greater requirement of all. To all. 13. O daughter of Tyre, the richest of the people shall entreat your favor with a gift. O daughter of Tyre, this understanding that comes forth from the rock, that's that firm place. We think this is a perpetual thing. A lot of people do. They think it's forever. Well, forever is a long time. The richest of the people shall entreat your favor with a gift. The richest of the people shall entreat your favor. What? They're going to bring a gift to entreat your favor, to make you see things the way they do, to get you to be on their side. 14. All glorious is the king's daughter within the palace. Her raiment is of a checker work, inwrought with gold. All glorious is the king's daughter within the palace. Her raiment is of checker work, wrought with gold, and all glorious is the king's daughter in the palace, within the palace. See, there she's the princess. Her raiment is of checker work. It's of a work of design. It's beautiful. It's been made beautiful. It's inwrought with gold. It's sewn into the fabric. 15. She shall be led unto the king on a richly woven stuff. On richly woven stuff. the virgins, her companions in her train, being brought unto you. She shall be led unto the king on richly woven stuff, on fine things she's brought to the king. There's this, we find that we wonder why we have this. We wonder why so much exaltation of one and not so much exaltation of God. We'll find out all the great and the gloriness that went to the king's house, and it didn't go to God. It didn't get where it was actually belonged to. But these daughters of men, they were made beautiful. They were led, these accompanied by these virgins. Virgin's something that hasn't known man. It's pure in its understanding. It's pure in its body. Are her companions, her train being wrought unto you, because this is like an accompaniment, and these were accompaniment of virgins. There, if you keep company with the virgins, you must be virgin. You don't know man. We'll find out. You're absent of understanding, ready to receive. 17, instead of your fathers shall be your sons, whom you shall make princes in all the land. Instead of your fathers shall be your sons. When I first read this, I thought that we was talking about her, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the king. Instead of that which was his father's, see, he's going to receive a bride. He is going to go in to bring forth another generation to inherit your sons, whom you shall make princes in all the land, to pass down that right, to pass down the kingship, to pass down the rule. See, that can be transferred, but we've learned in the book that integrity cannot. You can take off the crown, put it on somebody else's head. It's like a symbol. But the integrity of one's heart, the integrity of one's ways, can't be transferred. It's non-transferable. Knowledge through the written word is transferable. We have the law, we have the Torah. That instructs all, not just one. Nobody's found favoritism above another. See, they all received the portion of manna. No one had more than another. Each one had just what he needed. See, there was no favoritism. Man did that. That was a choice of man to show favoritism to another, to exalt one over another. God didn't do that. God didn't find favor in it. Man did that. 18. I will make your name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore shall the people praise you forever and ever. I will make your name to be remembered in all generations. We'll find out. This is the king that follows. This is the king that does justly. This is the king that does righteousness. This is the king of equity, who has a scepter of equity. See, when he comes. He ain't come yet because we don't have equity. We don't have righteousness. We don't have justice. We don't have this. We don't have it. See, so we're still waiting on the king to come, who has justice, who has righteousness, who has equity. God's my king. He's the only king I'm gonna bow down to. See, I'm not going to bow down to another king. This ideal of some kind of rule set in order by God over men. People choose that. People do that. God was good enough for me in the beginning. See, but this is where we're at. This is where we're at. See, that point of choosing, that place where we have to say, God don't want us to have a king. Do we want to do what God says, or do we want to do what the king says? Do we want to do what this rule, this choice of men do, this choice that they make? Obviously, they are unable to control themselves. Obviously, they are unable to set in order or have any integrity of their own, so they wish to give all their integrity, all their hope, all their ability to somebody else. We find out Samuel warned well what the king would exact, and great exactions are brought upon the people, and off the back of the poor do these ivory palaces get built. Off the back of the poor does the thread of the daughters of the king, the threads of the garments of the queen get woven. See, there's two sides to every coin, and we got to be able to look at both sides. If we can't, we're just ignoring our obvious choices. But I'm going to move forward. I'm going to move forward to Psalms 46. Turn, return.